Welcome to Shrouded Realities. We've got a curveball of an episode coming today.
That's right. We're just trying to figure it out today.
We shifted gears as we were walking in the door, and that's how together we have our stuff.
We've been sitting in here an hour. I feel really confident of what we're doing.
Like I said, we do this every day.
Yeah.
We're just doing it with microphones in front of our faces.
That's all right.
For all the world to hear.
Nothing
when I say all the world, I mean like 30 people.
Maybe. On a good week.
Well, we're going to have some fun. We're going to dig into some current events, some hot topics, and try not to get banned from the internet.
We could. These are going to be some tough ones, I think. I think we're going to ease people in a little bit though. We're gonna slap them with some current events of let's talk about tariffs. Let's talk about I mean, these are all things that could just end our society, possibly. I mean, maybe they could.
That's what the news is telling us.
Yeah, well, and they have been 100% accurate about everything.
They never lie. They never have an agenda.
Lie. They are completely not. They're in the middle.
Right.
That's what you would say about.
They're just reporting what happens. They don't put their twist on it.
Ever.
They don't get a script from the CIA. They don't have operatives.
No. Why would they?
I mean, they're just honest people trying to deliver the news.
Exactly.
That's all they're doing.
That's all they're doing.
That's all they're doing.
I mean, what was it? I'm Lester Holt.
I'm Lester Holt.
I'm Lester Holt.
Power up. I'm Lester Holt.
That's still one of my favorite things from this entire Shrouded Realities in general.
That was a good one.
Was that Lester Holt off-the-cuff thing.
If we were good at, like, animation,
yeah,
I feel like we could make a pretty solid cartoon out of that.
We need to get a little mini Lester Holt over here in the corner.
I'm Lester Holt.
I'm Lester Holt.
We could just have Lester Holt deliver the news.
Delivering you the news.
Let's tell how we got here. So,
in a car.
Well, not like that. You know what I mean. So last week we first ever epic fail.
Yes,
this was pretty of the epic.
Don't even really know how it happened. So
may have been a God thing. To be honest with you,
I think it was 100%. We did our episode. I did like what I'm doing right now. I'm watching all the waveforms go into the computer.
Yep.
Everything's good.
You're recording.
I'm watching it.
We got cameras on.
Cameras are running.
They're rolling.
Everything's good. And I get home, open my computer.
Zip.
The software I'm using is still open.
Mm-hmm.
All of everything is gone.
Yawn.
Don't know how it happened. It's really weird. I was tore up about it. I called you immediately. I was like, hey, we got a problem, bud.
We can't release this episode.
Guess what can't happen now?
We have no audio.
There's zero audio to it.
Yeah.
So, looking back, probably was a God situation there.
Yeah.
Not because what we said was wrong.
Some of it was.
Yeah. It's not that. It's not that it was wrong. Yeah. It's that it probably wasn't given in the most graceful way.
Correct.
That it could have been.
And we have a new plan that will make that episode better.
Yes. I think it'll tame us down a little bit.
The show topic was going to be feminism.
It was.
It was going to be three dudes in a room talking to other dudes about chicks that want to be dudes.
Yeah. And
Tropic Thunder. There you go.
Yeah. A dude dressed like another dude acting like this dude. But I mean, looking back, it wasn't a good idea. Yeah. It just really wasn't.
Mm-hmm. I felt like we had some good, solid stuff in it.
We did. I think that it was, for the most part, it was okay.
Yeah.
But there was definitely some not okay in it.
Yeah.
And it's, like I said, it's not because what we were saying was incorrect. It's that we probably could have handled it a little better.
Yeah.
And I'm the daddy of that. Mm-hmm. So I'm the daddy of not handling things as well as I should a lot of times. So
Connor did have one that I felt like I was going to have to cut.
Connor did say something, and we're just teasing this for everybody, and you're never going to hear it.
Because it's gone.
So everybody get really pumped up for something you're never going to hear.
Yeah.
Connor did, he threw one out, and I went, ooh.
And you know what's bad if me and you are going, oof.
Yeah, because I was like, ooh, I don't know about that, bud. Like,
okay, we're just going to say that.
Yeah. But anyway, that's not what our show is. Yep. It was, you'll never hear the what could have been.
No. And I know you take a little blame for that. Probably
I do.
All the blame.
Yeah.
I take all that off of you.
Okay.
Because that week before the episode, I was watching a new podcast. Somebody local released one. I was like, oh, cool. Let's check it out and see how it is.
Yep.
And they started out like we're doing now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, yeah, man, so we had to do this one twice. Thanks for coming back in. He's thanking his guest for coming back in for a second interview.
Had a guest situation.
Yeah, and he's like, I appreciate you coming back and doing it again. I don't know what happened. We lost the footage. And I was over there going, what a chump.
Oh, you said this out loud.
Not in my head.
That's just as bad. Yeah.
Probably worse.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, this guy.
What an idiot.
We're 43 episodes in, and we've never done that.
Guess what happened on episode 43? That.
We crapped the bed.
44. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is the new episode 44.
Yep.
We're just throwing some spaghetti against a wall.
That's right.
Get some current events.
That's right.
Just see where we end up.
Let's start with a little
that's something
tariff
else.
Conversation.
And that's something else we're about to start doing a little bit. We're going to throw some video in these.
Yeah. Okay. So this one, we're going to play a video.
Yeah.
And then we're going to talk about it.
Yeah, and I'm pretty excited about that.
That is going to be cool.
This is a new chapter of Shrouded Realities. We're actually throwing some visual aids in here.
So you
don't have to look at us.
Yeah, you don't have to look at these ugly mugs.
That's right.
For 45 minutes. Yeah. I mean, most of the time.
Yeah. And that's really why they tune in, is to look at us.
For us.
It has nothing to do. That's why there's only 30 people.
Mm-hmm.
Just because it's like
everybody clicks in or scrolls past and goes, oof.
Yeah, never mind.
Yeah.
Their content may be solid, but I can't look at that.
So if this hits, maybe we just go like mostly videos.
Yeah, we're just going to have AI footage up of just like 3 Brad Pitts sitting in there.
Probably not a bad idea anyway.
Probably not a bad idea.
You know, the one episode we did have pop good. We had a guest that I called Brad Pitt that had a baby with Billy Gibbons from ZZ Top.
Yeah.
And it popped.
It did.
So the algorithm's like, ooh, we got a good looking dude here.
We got Billy Gibbons and Brad Pitt in this episode? Poof. Throw it out.
Yeah.
Well, today you have the guy from the Goonies and
Pee Wee Herman.
Anyway, let's see what Ronald Reagan has to say on the subject of tariffs.
Let's set it up a little bit. Let's set it up a little bit.
What would he say?
So let's set it up a little bit. So Trump is in all over the news right now because tariffs. He's been talking about tariffs since he got in day one. We're gonna get our fair share on the tariffs.
Yep.
Recently this week, there's been a couple of viral videos of Ronald Reagan saying that tariffs is going to be a bad thing.
Yep.
And it would have been back in 1987.
Yeah.
I think this is a clip being used from the left because the situation was different in 1987 than it is now.
Why would the left want to
use
a Republican's own words against people today? Why would they want to do that?
But because they're outstanding, solid, just stand-up people that never miss an opportunity to push their agenda. Let's put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
Let's play the video.
Let's play the video, and on the backside, let's talk about it.
This is what Ronald Reagan said about raising tariffs during the trade wars of 1987.
We expect our trading partners to live up to their agreements. As I've often said, our commitment to free trade is also a commitment to fair trade. But in imposing these tariffs, we were just trying to deal with a particular problem, not begin a trade war. So next week, I'll be giving Prime Minister Nakasone this same message. We want to continue to work cooperatively on trade problems and want very much to lift these trade restrictions as soon as evidence permits. We want to do this because we feel both Japan and the United States have an obligation to promote the prosperity and economic development that only free trade can bring. Now, that message of free trade is one I conveyed to Canada's leaders a few weeks ago, and it was warmly received there. Indeed, throughout the world, there's a growing realization that the way to prosperity for all nations is rejecting protectionist legislation and promoting fair and free competition. Now, there are sound historical reasons for this. For those of us who lived through the Great Depression, the memory of the suffering it caused is deep and searing. And today, many economic analysts and historians argue that high tariff legislation passed back in that period, called the Smoot-Hawley Tariff, greatly deepened the Depression and prevented economic recovery. You see, at first, when someone says, let's impose tariffs on foreign imports, It looks like they're doing the patriotic thing by protecting American products and jobs. And sometimes for a short while it works, but only for a short time. What eventually occurs is, first, homegrown industries start relying on government protection in the form of high tariffs. They stop competing and stop making the innovative management and technological changes they need to succeed in world markets. And then, while all this is going on, something even worse occurs. High tariffs inevitably lead to retaliation by foreign countries and the triggering of fierce trade wars. The result is more and more tariffs, higher and higher trade barriers, and less competition. So soon, because of the prices made artificially high by tariffs that subsidize inefficiency and poor management, people stop buying. Then the worst happens. Markets shrink and collapse, businesses and industries shut down, and millions of people lose their jobs. The memory of all this occurring back in the 30s made me determined when I came to Washington to spare the American people the protectionist legislation that destroys prosperity. Now, it hasn't always been easy. There are those in the Congress, just as there were back in the 30s, who want to go for the quick political advantage, who risk America's prosperity for the sake of a short-term appeal to some special interest group, who forget that more than 5 million American jobs are directly tied to the foreign export business, and additional millions are tied to imports. Well, I've never forgotten those jobs, and on trade issues, by and large, we've done well. In certain select cases, like the Japanese semiconductors, we've taken steps to stop unfair practices against American products, but we've still maintained our basic long-term commitment to free trade and economic growth.
So let's talk about the wood paneling in the room first.
That was sweet. I miss that. That just reminds me of like my grandmother's house.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like those were better times, I would say.
You don't see that
Simpler
anymore.
times, easier times where you were just throwing tariffs on Japan, which that seems to not be in the videos that everybody's talking about. He's sitting there talking about, well, guess what?
Yeah.
If Japan's not going to stick with what we said about free trade, then we're going to slap a tariff on them.
Yeah, and they only play the part where he's breaking down what would happen if they did increase the tariffs. But they're also not talking about, and you correct me if I'm wrong here, but I believe in 1987 we probably wasn't getting charged tariffs as high as we are from other countries.
I don't know for a fact. I mean, I wasn't even alive, nor have I really dug into that much.
Yeah.
But the whole thing there is free trade.
Yep.
That's what he was trying to do in general.
Yep.
Free trade across the board. Hey, you want to work with us? We want to work with you. Free trade.
Yep.
What that has turned into, and I think you can have the same conversation with like NATO and all of these countries that America props that are sucking on the teat of the American dream here. They're not paying their fair share, and we are the ones left to hold the bill.
Yeah.
And I think that right now, Trump is a deal maker. That's his thing. So he's going to say some things that are bombastic and crazy to hope that you move. If you don't move, then he's going to do the crazy thing that he said he's going to do. Yeah. Like, I'm going to give everybody a 25% tariff. Unless you come to the table and we meet up and we say, hey, let's talk. As of right now, we have hit the world with it.
Yeah.
And that's the gamble. I mean, it is the roll of the dice. I mean, he told us from the get-go, this is going to be tough.
Yeah.
He said, look, it's going to be tough. And I think it is going to be tough for a period of time.
Yeah.
But, you know, he was talking about Canada, and during that time frame, they had free trade, right? That's what he's saying right there. Canada come to the table, and here we are.
So something changed between 1987 and now.
Something's changed, because the reason that there are tariffs going towards Canada is because Canada tried to say, you're not going to tariff us. They were already tariffing the U.S.
Yes.
That already existed.
Yeah.
So we said, okay, we're not playing this game. If you want free trade, great. If you don't, here's 25%. Take it.
And I don't understand the backlash. Like, I mean, I guess I do in a way, but it's like, why would people get mad about our government trying to make more money to increase our national debt?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
To increase our national debt or decrease?
Decrease it. Yeah. Because, it's growing dramatically.
Yeah, we're at $36 trillion right now.
And if you don't do something to change it, it's going to get worse.
It's going to get
and it's never
way
going to
worse.
stop. So you have to do something. So right now, to me, this is that something. Doge was one of them. We'll touch on that in a minute. But
I'm pumped about that.
Yeah, if we're paying people to ship our stuff overseas, how is it not unfair for us to request the same thing? It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense at all. I think what they're really getting at is here at home, things are going to be more expensive. You're basically getting a tax on us now.
Yeah.
That tax already existed to an extent when stuff was coming out of Canada. Mm-hmm. We were paying a tariff to have those things put in here.
Yeah.
Already.
Yeah.
That already existed. Mm-hmm. This is an addition to that now. Yeah. So there is addition to, but the point is it's going to hurt their country.
Oh, yeah.
That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
And eventually they're going to come to the table and go, all right, look, hey, we are the ones that can handle it as the U.S.
Yeah. Yeah. It'll get them to a point of where
they have to.
Yeah. Free trade's going to be a ton better option.
Yes. That's the hopes. I'm not saying that that's going to be what happens. And maybe we go into a 1930s like depression and I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I don't think that that's the game that Trump's playing though. I don't think that he's going to let us get to that point.
Yeah.
And maybe it's because I'm more on his side, I would say. I do agree with him more so. But, man, I can't sit and listen to this. Trump is literally trying to end the world
yeah.
How can you have this conversation with the last 4 years we just had?
Right.
How could you sit here and be like, well, Trump's trying to end the world. Biden was trying to start World War III, and we were just like, he poops his pants. I don't know.
Yeah. What about the little crap hole he left at the very end? Just kind of
he was like
on his way out.
Shoot missiles. Sure,
yeah,
that
on his
great.
way out, no big deal.
Putin said that's his line in the sand, but you go ahead.
No big deal.
Yeah,
don't care. I know I'm here for another week.
Yeah, I'm here for another week. I don't care. I would actually like to leave this as a Trump problem here.
Yeah.
Which, yet again, that's something that he is definitely working very hard to try to fix.
But then he comes in and says, "I'm going to try to get more money and pay a more fair rate for our exports."
Yeah.
And people lose their minds.
Yeah.
I got the Trump derangement
We should be treated
syndrome.
equally. Yes, we're the big bad country. We are the United States of America. I understand that. Mm-hmm. That doesn't mean that I need to pay for Zimbabwe's tariff.
We should not be funding someone else's government.
No.
At all.
Well, we've already had that conversation.
Yeah.
And we've got little United States all across the world just because we're imposing ourselves there.
Good or bad? I'm still on the fence on that one. Either way, we shouldn't be.
There's some good, there's some bad, but we aren't the world police to me.
No.
But regardless, that doesn't really matter. No. Tariffs are not the big bad thing, I don't think. No. Did you write down the Smalley or what was the thing he was saying? Because I've heard it a bunch. He was talking about we imposed all these tariffs ahead of the Depression, and that's what sent us into a depression is the argument I've heard.
Yeah.
I can't remember what the name of it was. Regardless, I've heard that a bunch.
Yeah.
So the reason I really wanted to bring this up, and especially talking about this video clip, is the media is going to try to manipulate you from that clip right there.
Oh, yeah. Because the one that's making the rounds is the one little part that says, if we impose tariffs, it's going to cause this, this, and this.
You're not getting the context of the video.
No.
The context of the video is, hey, we're about to slap tariffs on Japan.
Yeah. And at the time, he was an advocate for free trade.
Yes.
Which I would say we are too.
I would too.
Because I think if we're not paying 25, 30, 50% to other countries for our exports because of their tariff laws, I don't think we're having this conversation at all.
I don't either. Why would we?
Why would we?
There would be no reason to have this. Why would we be like, okay, now we're going to slap everybody with tariffs?
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense.
No. Because our domestic export would be what was making our money.
That's what that's what the media wants you to believe is we're just like willy-nilly saying, nope, we everybody gets tariffs.
Mm-hmm.
It's not what's going on.
No.
What's going on is we're being charged this tariff. So we said, well, if y'all aren't going to play, we're not either.
Yeah.
And I think that's right.
That's what I mean. Just
America first was what he ran on, and I'm sticking to it. I hope that bread doesn't cost more than my paycheck, but America first, we have to take care of us before we take care of everybody else. And we haven't been taking care of ourselves.
And I think the negative backlash from society in general is it's kind of a grim overview of how we are, that we're not willing to sacrifice for a little while for anything, ever.
Not even a little bit.
I didn't think we was going to go abortion today, but that's the same exact mindset. You're not willing to push through the difficulties of childbirth and having an unplanned baby. So we just eliminate a life.
Yeah, consequences are. I'm not gonna own up to my actions. No, shouldn't do that.
And same with this. Like, our stuff is going to get a little more expensive.
But this can has been kicked down the road for so long that now we have to feel the pain of it to fix it.
Yes.
If we had fixed this from the get-go, just like he tried to do here, just, hey, Japan's trying to play, so we're going to slap them with it too. If we had been playing this game the whole time correctly, when somebody's like, oh, no, hit the U.S. with it, and then we hit them back, it could have been a more targeted tariff situation. You can't do that now because the entire world's doing it. So then we have to just go, nope, sorry.
We're going to do it too.
But it hurts us more now because it's not been taken care of before.
Right. And the fact that we're not willing to pay a little more for stuff and be uncomfortable for a little while, and even maybe be in a bad situation for a while, because what's the other side of this? Full-blown economic collapse when everybody calls on our debt.
And guess what? When the U.S., just like I was talking about with the rest of the world, is dependent on us, when the U.S. collapses,
everybody collapses.
Guess what? It's a domino effect. Then everybody's propped up by us.
Yeah.
So
for me, in my opinion, which is worth only a cent or two, is tariffs are going to suck. We're going to pay a little more. There's going to be some retaliation tariff wise.
Yeah.
But we'll get through it. And maybe we'll at least get our national debt paid down enough to where my grandchildren will be able to survive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm willing to give that up for a little while.
I am too. I mean, I'm not going to say it's going to be easy. And I don't think that Trump has even said that it would either. Everything I've heard him say is like, hey guys, it's going to get tough for a little bit, but he said, this is surgery.
Yeah.
And with surgery, it's going to be inflamed once I get done cutting, but you're better once it chills out.
Yep.
You know, once you heal, you're better for having that surgery.
Yeah. Perfect segue here. Going from there to Doge.
Shoo.
Same thing. They just went in just cutting and slashing. And then all you hear from the media again that only reports the news is American jobs are being cut. They're digging into your Social Security. American contractors aren't going to be able to work because they've got to write an email to say what they're doing for the week.
Yeah.
That was their line in the sand. One time. I can't believe my boss wants me to tell me what I'm doing this week I work from home in my underwear.
He said, what are the 5 things you did this week? That locks you up.
If you're having a problem answering that question, you don't need a job.
You don't need
I
a
don't
job.
want my tax dollars paying your paycheck. And I know I'm talking to some of my friends, and I apologize to them.
I get it. I'm the same way.
We're in a heavy government
area
section of the world.
We are.
That a lot of people's jobs are dependent on it. But man, I'm sorry.
If you can't answer that question,
I'm so sorry.
If you can't answer it, first of all, you probably ain't friends to begin with. I don't hang out with too many people that are like, I don't know what I did this week.
I'll straight up say I am. I know people that were very highly offended by that very thing.
Really?
And I'm so sorry.
That's tough, man.
I don't want my paycheck.
I'm
killing myself over literally sometimes.
Go look at your next check and see how much income tax comes out of it.
Dude.
And then think about the guy that can't answer 5 questions.
Yeah.
Basic.
Working from home in their underwear.
Yeah, exactly. I have a problem with that.
Going grocery shopping on the clock.
Well, the things that they have found with Doge of just where we are blatantly spending dumb money, man.
Yeah.
It blows my mind.
You got that pulled up?
Oh, yeah, I've got some.
What's the Doge website?
Doge.gov. Everybody go to Doge.gov and just read it for yourself. It is really incredible the things that you can find out.
I'll pull it up with you.
That your money is going to. Let's also talk about why are people mad about this?
I don't get it.
Why are people mad? Not about the 5 things you did this week. Why are people mad that we are like, hey, this is a problem that we are paying for gender equity in the Mexican workplace? How much money would you give yourself out of your pocket for gender equity in the Mexican workplace?
Not one single penny.
You gave 10 mil.
Good gravy.
Yes.
You know how many income tax?
You'll never pay that.
I didn't expect to get this mad today.
You yourself will never pay that amount of taxes in your life. Think about that.
So how many
people? We gave
people?
$10 million.
Yes.
To give gender equity in the Mexican workplace. Do you know how much I care about the gender equity in the Mexican workplace?
I don't care about gender equity in America's workplace.
Exactly. Well, you gave 10 mil to do it there. That's one example. What about work empowerment in South Africa? Are you into that worker empowerment in South Africa?
I mean, I hope the South Africans have good work environments, but I don't want to give my paycheck to it.
What about 12.2 million? Are you that concerned about it?
I want to do something fun.
I wish you would.
Could I buy with $12 million? Let's see what the internet has to say about that.
Yeah.
What can I buy for $12 million? AI says I could buy a luxury home. I could buy condominiums. I could buy high-end vehicles.
Mm-hmm.
I could buy boats and yachts and airplanes. My stock portfolio could get a lot better.
Could.
I could get arts and collectibles.
Uh-huh.
You know what it shouldn't be paying for?
Gender equity in the Mexican workplace. That's just one that I don't know why I would have thought of that, but yeah, that's one. Yesterday,
again,
agencies.
You said it. How can you be against this?
How
can
could
anybody
you be mad
against
about
this?
What is the argument for that? I need to find what the argument for that is.
There is none, because they completely shift very quickly and start saying that he's coming after our Social Security check. A billionaire, gazillionaire is coming after my Social Security check.
Do you think, and this is just something that maybe everybody should think of next time they say dumb stuff out loud. Do you think that anybody in the government could have access to your Social Security number? My guess is they probably could.
Probably do.
So why is that the reason that everybody's mad? They've got access to that. They're the government. Yeah. Guess who issues it? The flipping government.
Guess what that number's for? It's for the government to keep track of us.
Yes.
But we're worried that they've got it.
But they've got it. Uh-huh.
I might have to find this clip so that we can play it in the show.
Yeah.
I hope I can. I hope I'm not setting myself up for failure here.
Okay.
But there was a video of a guy interviewing a protester on the streets. Those are great, by the way.
I love those. I'd live in those a lot.
I could live in those. But they're protesting Elon, and he's asking why she's protesting Elon. Her statement was because we didn't elect him.
Yeah.
So his very follow-up question.
You know who else we didn't elect?
That was his follow-up question was, so what's your feelings on Fauci? Oh, he's a great man. I love him. I love him. He was awesome.
Me too.
Yeah.
I like that guy.
Yeah.
Anthony Fauci?
Yeah, you're talking about the unelected official that shut the world down?
That guy's smart.
Yeah.
I've heard he is the science.
He is the science. But Elon not getting voted for, quote unquote.
Right. Mm-hmm. He didn't get voted for. I voted for Trump knowing that someone, maybe not Elon Musk, but someone was going to handle this problem.
Yeah.
That we all knew existed, maybe not to the full extent.
Yeah.
But we knew it was real. Mm-hmm. I'm finding some other ones in here, man. I kind of want to dig into this just a touch.
Read them out.
I need to find some USAID. That's where it is. What about $620K for an LGBT plus inclusive teen pregnancy prevention program for transgender boys?
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Do I need to repeat it?
One time, please.
Okay. $620K. So we're not talking.
It's not a ton, but.
Yes, okay. It is.
I mean, it's. Yeah. I wish I had $620K.
Yeah. For an LGB plus.
Okay.
Inclusive teen pregnancy prevention program for transgender boys.
Okay. So you're telling me.
So it's a girl. It started as a female. Starting point.
Okay. I was really
no. That's why I had to read it twice.
Thank you.
Because it threw me off.
I still didn't get it. So transgender boy is
it started as a woman.
Was a boy. Okay.
Started as a woman. But we need to make sure that they understand that they can still get pregnant because boys' penis. Boys have penises and they can't get pregnant, but they're girls, so they can get pregnant because they're girls.
But if they're
It's her penis, you freaking bigot. Good grief.
I'm going to ask a question here that's probably going to get me in trouble.
We
live there.
Yeah, we live in that world.
If you're born a girl,
yep,
you're now a boy.
Correct.
You have coitus with another boy.
Real boy.
Are you now a gay transsexual?
I think so. I think that's how that works.
Okay.
It's actually being straight with more steps, I think.
Yeah.
Because you're a girl, right?
Yep.
And then you're now a boy.
Okay.
So now we've got a boy-girl.
Okay.
You're a girl. Still a girl,
yep.
But you think you're a boy, right?
So you take away all the titles real quick.
Yeah. And you have a girl.
Then you have a boy and a girl having a baby.
Correct. And we paid $620K to let people know that was a thing that could happen still. We gave money to it. $620K. You probably won't pay that in taxes in your entire life.
We're going to circle back to that conversation after the break.
Yeah, $50K for assessing sexual health among LGBTQ plus Latinx youth in agricultural communities.
That's very specific.
It is, isn't it? That's pretty pinpointed. That's pretty pinpointed there. $740K for examining social networks among Black and Latino sexual minority men in New Jersey.
How much?
$740K.
You know what you can buy for $740K?
A lot.
Ball and house.
Pretty sweet stuff.
Mm-hmm.
$699K for studying cannabis use among sexual minority gender diverse individuals.
Say it again.
$699K.
Why is some of this so hard to say?
Because they don't want you to know what they're doing. I don't even know if this is real.
They gobbledygook it up with just words.
$699K. So let's round that up. $700,000 for studying cannabis use among sexual minority gender diverse individuals. I don't even know what that means. Sexual minority gender diverse individuals.
Why would we care?
How much pot are they smoking?
How much pot anybody smokes, much less a sexually diverse minority individual.
If I was going to worry about it, I'm going to worry about that one. I don't know why, but that's the one I would.
Okay.
$100K for Vanderbilt student university to study. That's the social network. Okay, so that was going to Vanderbilt.
So before we go to break, I want to ask, and I don't think this is going to be the case.
Okay.
If you're a Democrat, voted Democrat.
I'm not. I can answer that quick.
Not you.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking to the listeners right now.
Yeah.
If you voted for Kamala Harris and you want and you made it this far into the episode,
which is doubtful.
Very doubtful.
Yeah. If you are officially at 35 minutes, then first of all, kudos.
Thank you.
Big deal.
You're at least open-minded enough to listen to our rambling.
Yeah.
Hop in the comment section
Please.
And explain some of this to us.
Yes, I would love a solid explanation of how that's okay.
Please.
And why you're mad about it. I'd like to know why you're mad. That we're like, hey, this is a problem.
Yeah, and we're gonna ask you not to say yeah, but. You know what I mean? Like these specific things.
Don't argue against Trump. Argue against the point I'm making.
Someone came in and kept millions and probably up to billions now dollars.
Yes, we're in the hundreds of billions.
From getting flushed down the toilet.
Yep.
And you're mad about it.
Mm-hmm.
Just that. Let us know in the comment section.
I think I know what their argument's going to be.
Name it.
I think that the argument is that we are trying to build the world to be more first world and to act like us.
Okay.
So
they were okay with that amount of money going to
I think that they're okay with that amount of money because we're helping someone through that is what they're saying.
But there's a lot of
Here's the thing. I don't agree with us doing these things here. So I'm definitely not going to agree with doing it somewhere else.
Okay.
I'm not going to and how white of you to think
How dare you?
How white are you that you think that your money should be going to train another culture to be more white?
I see what you're saying.
How about that?
How dare you,
How
Democrats?
dare you think that you're better and more suited to teach the world something than they are to teach themselves something?
It sounds like some major mansplaining going on there.
It does. It kind of sounds like you're a racist.
You just don't know any better because you're a weird culture.
Kind of sounds like you're racist if you think that you know better than another culture.
You just made a lot of people's heads explode if they listened to it.
They did.
They did.
It's people that agree with me that listen, probably.
Yeah.
But I hope that there's that one that goes,
Daggum. Maybe he's right. Maybe I shouldn't be telling people how they should live their lives.
Do you know where people do tell you how to live your life?
Where's that?
I don't know, but it's not shroudedrealities.com.
It's not. Nope.
It's not there.
It's not. I don't think a Nazi German has ever been on our website.
If they have, then we would have kicked them off.
I would
have called Doge and said,
"Get this guy out of here."
I would have called ICE and said, "Get this guy out.
Get him gone."
I don't like him.
shroudedrealities.com.
It's the place, man.
It is the place to be.
It's the place for the boys.
We get some decent traffic on it.
Yeah.
Hey, Communist China has been on our website, though.
It makes sense. We have said some things about the Chinese.
The Chinese. I like the way you said that.
The Chinese.
The Chinese. Speaking of the Chinese, picked up a new listener, commented on a couple of our stuff. His name Aaronese.
I thought it was Aaron Neese.
Aaronese?
I don't know. Hey, Aaron, whoever you are.
Appreciate you, bro. I
like you.
Yeah. You can tell he listened to some stuff, too, by his comments. He was digging deep. Somehow he got close to my mom's last name.
He did.
Which makes me really uncomfortable. When we read that comment...
It made you freak out. It didn't make me freak out at all. I was fine with it.
I don't like it. He commented on the David Koresh episode. He didn't get the name right.
He didn't.
It was close.
But he was close.
To make me uncomfortable.
I'll tell you, though, I like his sticker suggestions.
I do great sticker suggestions.
He is on it.
Sorry Mom's going to be on a sticker and a shirt.
Sorry Mom should be. And I think he was a little tore up at how much we say sorry Mom.
Yeah.
But it's really just for your mom.
Just my mom.
It is.
Yeah. Because she used to, way back in the show, I think even before we went on audio, or went on video.
Yeah.
We were audio only. She would call me after every episode. Son, I love your show. It's great. But why did you talk about erections?
Yeah. Why are you talking about sperm the entire time?
Just leave that out.
All you're talking about is poop and wieners the whole time.
Just leave that out. And I'm like, Mom, no.
That's what makes it fun. Poop and wieners makes everything fun.
Everybody from 2 years old to 99 years old thinks farts are funny.
Do you know what happens?
Sorry, Mom,
with a little baby when they fart?
Oh yeah,
or when like an infant. I'm talking like freshly born.
Yep.
Do you know when they smile? It's when they have gas.
Oh yeah. Because it's hilarious and it makes them feel better.
I'm talking like from the moment you are birthed, you think that farts are funny.
Yeah. And if a baby farts in front of a 99-year-old man, they're both going to yuck it up.
They are.
I've seen videos. Mm-hmm. It's real. But Aaron had a couple of good episode ideas.
He did.
And we tend to hit our stuff in
we're almost in sections,
segments, series of stuff. So when we circle back to the government's coming after people series, we're going to look into.
Won't be long.
Yeah, we're going to look into the Bundys and the Hammond. He said, look into the Bundys and the Hammond. You said that was the government went after a farm or something.
I want to say I'm not super familiar with it. I would hate to say that that's what it is and just be completely wrong. Okay. But I will dig into it.
We are going to do an episode on that.
I really like that you're reaching out to us. That's what we want people to do. Yes. Hey, give us some ideas.
Yep.
Today we just have a throw it against the wall idea. Mm-hmm. So these will be good.
Yep. But we are going to stay on the series of population control. And
we're kind of living in that headspace a little bit right now. But who knows what the next series is going to be.
Yeah.
So
I found that we have to break it up into series because if I lived in that world all the time, my mental health would be
trash.
Garbage.
Yeah, it'd be trash.
Banging my head against
just
the
be
wall
a problem.
if I researched how many times the federal government came after us.
Yeah, we're normally 3-4 weeks we're rocking the same thing.
Yeah.
So and that's just the way that we live. If we don't, first of all, I'm going to get way sidetracked on 16 other different things. So
but Aaron,
I've got to.
Thanks for commenting. Yeah. It is on the list for sure.
It is. And a place that you can also make those suggestions is on Patreon. If you run into like, hey, these guys should talk about this, and I'd be really interested in it. Mm-hmm. Jump on that Patreon.
Yes.
$2 a month.
Not bad.
Not only are you going to get direct access to have a conversation with us as a group, you can also watch videos early.
Very early.
Very early.
Yeah.
So you can be informed before everybody else is informed.
Yeah. So,
I think that we're more likely to actually do an episode if you're on that Patreon.
That's true. We are very appreciative to our Patreon supporters. So
if you got an idea, throw it in there. You might get bumped to the top of the list.
That's right.
So,
but
wait. You
don't want to go yet?
Not yet.
Okay.
We're going to.
Yeah.
But we haven't even talked about merch. We hadn't talked about stickers.
You talking about the stuff that's on sale?
Yeah. We have everything is for sale, and some of it's on sale.
And all of it is for sale?
That's what I said.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I said everything's for sale.
But some
of it's on sale.
Okay.
So those are different. I mean, you can just change, grammar around, and it's different things. Yep. But we got T-shirts. And we got stickers.
We're working on, and I'm next couple of weeks. I think I need to make it happen. We're gonna diversify our T-shirt options, and I think that's going to take our game to the next
I think it is. I think that I really dig the shirts we have, and I think everybody else does too.
Yep.
But it's time.
We're going to give color options for the shirt. We're going to give logo options for the shirts, and we're going to come up with some funny stuff. We've got some good ideas. Sorry, Mom's probably going to be
It's in there, and that's all thanks to a comment right there.
That's
so.
Right.
Yeah, feel free, jump in, tell us what you like.
Give us T-shirt ideas.
Tell us what you don't like. Give us T-shirt ideas. And with that being said, I'm going to segue over and make everybody incredibly uncomfortable.
I'm really not looking forward to this.
So everybody knows where we were, but when we left this off, we were talking about LGBTQ and Mexican places and all kinds of stuff.
It quickly went there.
It did.
I didn't want to go there till after the break, but the Doge stuff really opened it up.
Did you know what ASMR is?
It makes me uncomfortable. Yeah. All of it does.
Just wait.
Oh,
you think you're uncomfortable with just regular ASMR, somebody cutting your hair or something in a weird video that's cringy as crap?
Is this going to be a reaction video?
Huh?
Or is this going to be a reaction shot?
No, it should be, actually. We need to zoom in on your face for what's about to happen. You just got 20 seconds of this, man.
Please.
20 seconds is all you need.
That's a long time in
it is.
An uncomfortable world.
I hope this audio comes through well. Everybody be prepared to be excited.
Well, it's really easy to be hard on ourselves. Sometimes we need some nice trans affirmation. And that's what this is.
Can we stop?
10 minutes of trans affirmation.
This video is 10 minutes?
Long I record. Most likely 10 minutes. Trans affirmation is important because, of course, all trans people are valid.
Thank you. God,
there is such thing as trans affirmating ASMR. So you can go to bed at night listening to someone whispering this garbage into your ears. Yes, you are so valid. You're the most valid person that's ever lived. You have a penis, but you are a woman. And I know it. Just grab a hold of your penis and feel how feminine it is. That's the weirdest thing I've ever heard of. Ever. Could you imagine?
We live in clown world.
Yes. Could you imagine you're so confident that you are a woman that you have to have someone whisper it to you while you sleep? That's how confident you are. I saw it and I had to share it with the world. Everybody, I'm sorry. But if you are confident about something, You don't have to have a woman whisper it in your ear to get you to sleep at night. Nobody's once whispered in my ear, Stephen, you're a man. You're a man. I don't need it.
No.
I don't need you to. I know where I'm at.
And I'm not gonna.
No, I hope you don't whisper in my ear while I sleep.
I don't. Oh, goodness. That was painful.
Was that not tough?
You told me you was gonna do it.
I told you I was going to, and I knew coming out of that break we needed that shift.
Yeah.
That's that blatant shift right there. It's in it.
Do you think we ever do an episode with an actual
trans person?
LGBTQ trans person?
Trans, probably not. I don't see a trans person subjecting themselves to coming in this room with us. I really don't.
Because I
don't blame them.
I do have legit questions.
I do too. It's not that.
So I've done this. I did this before. I ran into one on a Facebook group.
Yeah.
And it was a mutual group, and this person just happened to be trans. And I went at it from a legit, very respectful, I'm not trying to change your mind point of view.
Yeah, sure.
I just had very specific questions.
I'm interested to know how this works.
I had extremely specific questions.
They don't like those typically.
They didn't. This person answered the first two questions that I had. The second one, he immediately went mad. And I'm like, whoa, I'm being extremely respectful here. I just don't understand.
You thought you were. You were.
No, I was. In real world, I was. Not clown world.
I understand. You thought you were, though. And what you didn't realize is that you were dealing with someone with mental illness. So it doesn't work out that way. When you are dealing with mental illness, a rational question can turn irrational really quick.
Yeah. Because if you don't understand something, the way to understand it is to ask questions.
Sure, absolutely.
That's where the word transphobia comes from. It's they think that people are scared of trans.
Not scared of
I'm
them.
not. They think that people are scared of a trans person for the way they live their life.
I'm not scared of anything that you're doing.
And they say it's because of ignorance.
Nope.
Okay, so if I'm ignorant to that, shouldn't I be able to...
I love the irony of that statement.
Shouldn't
they're saying that I'm ignorant for saying that men are men and women are women. But yes, anyway.
If I don't understand your point of view...
Answer my question.
Shouldn't I be able to ask any question and get an honest response? If I don't know how to make sushi.
Yeah.
If I had a sushi chef sitting right here next to me.
And you said, hey, could you show me how to do that?
And I asked him specific questions about how he makes sushi, what kind of rice, how do you cook the rice, what do you wrap it in, how do you do the tuna, do you put seasoning? If I had those kind of questions, do you think the sushi chef's going to get mad at me for asking those questions?
Could you imagine if he's like, listen here, you bigot, homophobe, transphobic person. You're sushi phobic, aren't you? You're scared of it. You're scared of sushi. Could you imagine that?
But if anyone asks any questions that are legit and trying to understand, they're going to get shut down immediately because
it doesn't fit. They can't explain it rationally. So if you ask it in a rational way,
thank you,
and they can't, then they're going to get mad and just emotional argument you to death and say what I just did there about sushi phobia. You're going to be scared of sushi. I'm sure that there's actually a phobia. There's a phobia for everything.
Sushi, you think?
Yeah, I'm sure that there.
I mean, you could get food poisoning from it because it's raw fish.
I'm sure that there is an actual
and you can't get it from a
phobia. A phobia. I mean, those things exist, but it's ridiculous. Hey, I'm
gonna go and say it. I'm more scared of sushi than I am a trans person.
Yeah, I am too. I don't think that they have this hold on society that they think they do.
And I don't. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, here's the problem with this trans thing, and this is something that I would say that I am scared of, and not me personally. I'm scared for others about it. We talked about this a little bit. I don't know that we can get the video in. We're getting pretty close on time here.
Okay.
But we can. If we can, throw it in. Great.
We could do a quick one.
But we were talking about it earlier. This guy was married to a woman.
Yep.
They had a kid.
Yep.
And the woman claimed that her son was a female, was a girl.
Yep.
Well, the dad was kind of like me with this and went, no. Well, the woman then divorces the husband and takes the son to have, and we're talking like what, 6, 5, somewhere in that age range?
9.
9?
Yep.
Puts him on puberty blockers, which is an irreversible problem.
A chemical castration is what it is.
Yes. You are literally taking the male hormones and just shutting them off, and you can't get that back.
Let's play the video.
Play the video.
Let's play the video real quick. Let's watch it, and then we'll talk about it.
How long is this video?
This one's 4 minutes, but we may play just a short of
the
kid saying the thing.
Yeah.
I'm a girl.
Who told you you're a girl?
Mommy.
This man, Jeff Younger, had his 9-year-old child transition to a girl without his consent.
It is illegal for me to tell you that my boys are male.
It all began 2 years ago when Jeff noticed that the behavior between his then wife, Dr. D.O.G.E, and his child had changed.
I first noticed it when she would put him into timeouts and she'd say things like, don't be a boy, the monsters only eat boys.
In the following weeks, the child asked Anne for a girl's meal deal at McDonald's and a silver purse from Target. At that moment, Jeff's wife told their child that she might be a girl and that she would help her transition. Jeff disagreed.
We were still married at the time, and I told her she couldn't do that.
His wife started dressing their youngster up in girls' clothes. Jeff decided to record a video of his child to show his indignation.
She puts dresses on you?
The video went viral, reaching the news around the world.
At this hour, we have not heard from the mother's side yet.
The kid was taken to therapy and assessed to be fit for transition. However, Jeff believed their child was being forced by Anne to accept this new identity.
My son only presents as a girl with his mom. He's never presented as a girl with me or anywhere else.
This is,
That's not frightening.
I could see why. This is messed up, man.
This is messed up.
That is horrible.
Could you imagine as a father going through that?
How powerless he is in this situation scares me to death.
Extremely.
Just the thought of that gives me such anxiety that somebody could, because it's complete coercion by the mother on this situation. Oh, yeah. She is just manipulating this child into believing that they are something.
Yeah.
And that's to elevate her status.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
That is nothing else. Why else would you do it? What's the other reason that you would do this? That you would literally chemically castrate your son for what?
Yeah.
Kids have make-believe friends.
Oh, I bet in her friend group, she's the queen.
She is up on a pedestal of, look at you, you empowered woman.
Oh, you are so tolerant.
You're the most tolerant person I've ever seen. I can't believe that. How did you get so lucky?
You notice where they moved to, don't you?
Not in Texas.
They went to California.
Oh,
but Texas upheld it, though. That was the shocking part.
I was very surprised by that. They must have been in a certain county in a certain place, living in a very
there are little
there's little pockets.
Texas,
if you're in Austin or you're in some of those areas, the cities, you can get into some of that. We went to Austin a couple of years ago, and
was it?
It was pretty obvious.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I've never been.
Yeah, it's a cool city, but it's definitely not that.
Yeah. Well, look into his story. Jeff Younger is his name, and he was on Soft White.
Probably clip that a little bit.
Yeah,
that's a little long. Just hit the high points a little bit in that one.
But Soft White Underbelly is where I found his story. He did a full explanation.
That was
there.
a couple of hours, if I remember right.
Yeah.
It was a long one.
Yeah.
But it's worth listening to. And could you imagine being married to that woman for any length of time?
Mm.
And that dude's probably pretty liberal. I guarantee you that dude is probably he's pretty liberal. Maybe not that liberal.
Yeah.
I think that even liberals are even going like, I don't think so.
Because any common sense whatsoever, no matter who you voted for, would tell you that this is 100% wrong.
I felt gross watching it. I'm not gonna. It's just like playing with a child's mind in that kind of way.
Telling a little boy that if he's a boy, monster is going to eat him.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Would you ever tell your kid something like that?
No.
Ever?
Never. Especially for that type of reason.
It's demonic.
It's 100% demonic.
It's demonic. I was listening to Rogan. Who was he talking to? I can't remember. Oh, yeah, he was talking about the vaccines, talking to vaccine lady.
Yeah. Suzanne Humphries.
Yeah, and his response, which surprised me because knowing his spiritual stance, that's what he said. He just said, it's demonic. And that's the best way to describe this is unless you're possessed in the mind, There's no other explanation.
There really isn't. There is no other explanation for
the clown world that's
manipulation of a child's, and it's a never be the same problem.
No.
If you start doing this to a kid, their testosterone never comes in. They never hit puberty.
Mm-mm.
They're like, well, you can reverse it. You can't.
Yeah.
You can't reverse this type of thing. Puberty is important for a child to hit when they're supposed to hit it.
Yeah.
If you don't hit that, I mean, your growth will not be the same.
Nope.
Your sexual reproductive situation is gone.
Wrecked.
I mean,
Kid ain't got a chance when he gets older.
This kid will never be able to have pleasure in his life in a sexual way.
No.
I understand that we're talking about what we're talking about, but you've got to think of the span of this child's life will never be the same because of this decision, this selfish decision that a mother's made.
Yep.
And that's all it is.
In spite of the father just trying to maybe even pump the brakes a little.
Yeah. Like,
you know what I mean?
Let's chill out.
He just wanted to offer an alternate mindset for the kid.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe he does feel that way. Maybe he did go to his mother one time and say, Mommy, I'm a girl.
Mommy, I want to play with a Barbie.
Okay.
Whatever.
But why the mental manipulation of planning thoughts and literally guiding the way he thinks?
I don't understand it. I can't put my head there. I can't understand trying to manipulate in that way that it completely destroys his life forever.
Yeah.
As a parent.
Yeah.
At all. How do we end on that? How do we end there?
We got to. We've got to.
I feel gross ending there. We should
this episode got my blood pressure up a little higher than I thought it would.
Did me too. I really enjoyed this episode, though. This was a fun one.
This was fun.
Except for this last part. That wasn't fun at all.
No.
I actually feel worse about that.
Our listeners like the emotional stuff, though.
They do.
I've gotten positive feedback when I get a little mad.
I got a little mad a couple times. I talked about sushi being scary. I mean,
that was probably
sushi.
The best point.
Yeah.
That's a t-shirt idea.
I like it.
I'm scared of sushi like I'm scared of a transfer.
We need to find out what the actual term for being scared of like raw fish is, and put a sushi roll right here, and then the phobia right there.
But that's what you get when you just start free-balling conversation and
just
talk.
Throwing it in, man.
Long-form talking, I love it.
I do too. It's so much fun.
Missing Connor today. Gonna miss me next week, but we'll carry on the show.
Yep.
For Steven and Joey and Ruby the podcast dog, thanks for listening.